Judge Napolitano argues that that is simply not how the Constitution works. And, of course, the judge joins me now. So Lindsey Graham, one of these people calling for Rahami to be placed in enemy combatant status. Why?
Well, he and others are of the belief that the due process rights that the Constitution guarantees are suspendable at the whim of the government. Now, due process is the right to fairness from the government, the right to remain silent, the right to a jury trial, the right to all the protections the Constitution gives you, to compel witnesses to testify, to confront the evidence against you, to have a lawyer.
Yeah.
Those who are of this belief say that he is such a high-value intelligence asset that somehow miraculously the Fifth Amendment can be suspended. The Fifth Amendment says no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. It doesn't say no good person.
Yeah.
It doesn't say no healthy person, no American person. It says no person. It's an absolute command, and it applies in all cases.
And this is an American citizen who committed these acts in the United States of America. It's not like they scooped him up off the battlefield in Afghanistan or Iraq.
Well, think of the logical consequences of what Senator Graham and some others have suggested. And I'm not critical totally of Senator Graham. I'm critical of this view of his.
Yeah.
Particularly so since he is Judge Graham in the United States military. So he's familiar with the law. But the consequences of this are, if the government hates or fears a criminal defendant or a suspect and thinks that person was involved in some foreign cabal or conspiracy, they can suspend that person's liberties. There is simply no provision in the Constitution or in law for the suspension of guaranteed liberties. They are guarantees. They apply in every case.
And that's why citizenship is special. And that's why it means something to be a citizen of the United States of America. It's also why it's problematic that 858 people were given citizenship when they were supposed to be
Look, the government can't deliver the mail. You expect them to examine people that are coming into the country? Of course they can't do it right. But this particular right to fairness from the government is a natural right.
Yeah.
It stems from our humanity, whether citizen or not. That's not Napolitano on the Constitution. That's the Supreme Court of the United States on the Constitution.
Yeah, and you know, the Supreme Court obviously going through growing pains or shrinking pains, as it were. And there's so much chaos already that I think it's really irresponsible to deem someone unfit for certain liberties because of the intent of the crime.
I'll tell you another practical outcome here. I have a lot of respect for the military prosecutors. The chief military prosecutor in Gitmo is a longtime friend of mine. They haven't won a case. The Joint Terrorist Task Force of the United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York has not lost a terrorist case. There's nothing wrong with putting these cases before juries and giving them all the constitutional protection. They usually get a conviction, and it's usually upheld on appeal. What's wrong with that?
No, let them rot in jail. I have no problem with that.
After due process.
Absolutely right.
And if they're acquitted, they go. They walk.
There you go. And you know what?
That's the law.
That is the beauty of the Constitution.
Yes, it is.
And thank you for demonstrating that.
It tolerates some guilty going free so that no innocent will be punished and so that no one will be stripped of their liberties.
All right, very good. Thank you so much, Judge.
You're welcome.